On its first day, it sold over 4 million copies. 4 million copies in one day. They didn't just break their record, they broke their own record. A Vietnamese couple recently went viral after using a phone spinner app to let their newborn daughter choose her own name. Parenting in 2026 is really something else. Japanese supermarkets have been going viral for a practice where fresh produce is packaged with a photo and short bio of the actual farmer who grew it. People saw it and immediately thought, why don't we do this everywhere? I'm your host, Michael Lai. This is the show where we break down everything happening in Asian news and culture. Today we've got BTS breaking records, a Vietnamese baby who technically named herself, and Japan doing something so wholesome it might actually restore your faith in humanity. Let's get into it. If you follow K-pop at all, you already noticed, but if you don't, let me catch you up. BTS just released their new album, ARIRANG. On its first day, it sold over 4 million copies. 4 million copies in one day. To put that into context, their previous first day record was 3.94 million copies, which they set with their first album. So they didn't just break their record, they broke their own record, which means no one on earth was capable of challenging them except themselves. ARIRANG, for those who don't know, is a traditional Korean folk song, one of the most well-known pieces of Korean musical heritage. And the fact that BTS named their album after it is not a coincidence. This group has always been deliberate about connecting their work to Korean culture on a global stage. And when you're selling millions of albums worldwide under a title that is deeply Korean, that really means something, and that's super important. But the album is only half the story. BTS also just returned to the stage for the first time in 4 years. 4 years! For context, their last full group performance was in 2021. And since then, the members have been fulfilling their mandatory military service in South Korea, which for those of you who don't know is required for all able-bodied Korean men. So when they finally stepped back on stage, it wasn't just a concert, it was an event. Fans who had been waiting years showed up, and by all accounts, it delivered. There's a lot of groups that go on hiatus and come back to a smaller audience, but BTS came back to a broken record and a world tour's worth of demand. They paused at the height of their career, fulfilled their national service, came back, and picked up right where they left off, except somehow even bigger. And we'll be watching this closely as they continue their comeback. Alright, so now let's talk about a baby in Vietnam who is technically more decisive than most adults I know. So a Vietnamese couple recently went viral after using a phone spinner app to let their newborn daughter choose her own name. They loaded up a wheel of names, held the phone near the baby, and whatever it landed on, that was it. Done. That's her name. The clip spread fast, partly because it's genuinely funny. And the comment section immediately pointed out that now if she hates her name when she grows up, she has no one to blame but herself. The names on the wheel included options like Naomi and Min, so the stakes were real. But here's the thing, naming a child is genuinely stressful. Studies show that somewhere between 10 and 18% of parents end up regretting the name they choose. And that's not a small number, that's potentially millions of people who look at their kid at some point and go, So in a weird way, outsourcing it to a random spinner is a choice. It's chaotic, yes, but at least this couple will have a story to tell for the rest of their lives. And honestly, so will their daughter. There's honestly something very internet era about this. The randomness of it, the virality of it, the way everyone online immediately clocked that the kid is now fully accountable for whatever that wheel landed on. Parenting in 2026 is really something else. Okay, last story of the day, and it's super heartwarming. So Japanese supermarkets have been going viral for a practice where fresh produce is packaged with a photo and short bio of the actual farmer who grew it. So you pick up your leeks, your tangerines, your tomatoes, and right there on the packaging is the face of the person who spent months cultivating that food for you. The practice even has its own name in Japanese. It's roughly translating to a relationship where you can see the face. And the idea is simple. Farmers are often completely invisible in the supply chain. You interact with the product, but you never think about the person. And this practice seeks to change that, and it works. Not just emotionally, but practically. When you can see the face of the person who grew your food, there is an accountability that kicks in on both sides. Farmers take visible pride in their work, consumers feel a connection to what they're buying, and there are even reports that this practice actually increases trust in product quality and boosts sales for participating farmers. It went viral globally because people saw it and immediately thought, why don't we do this everywhere? We live in a world that has gotten very good at abstracting labor. Things appear on shelves, in warehouses, in our carts, and the human effort behind all of it is invisible. Japan essentially said, what if it wasn't? What if the face behind the work was just right there? And that's not a complicated idea, but it is a powerful one. There's also something worth noting about the cultural context here. Japan has a long tradition of taking crafts seriously, regardless of the field. A farmer who has dedicated decades to growing quality produce is regarded with the same respect as someone in any other skilled profession. And the faces on the packaging aren't a gimmick, they're a reflection of that value system. It's a small thing, but it means a lot. And that's all for today. I'm Michael Lai. I'll see you next time.